Hey guys, Stamina here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over 5 tips to help you improve your clutching in Counter-Strike 2. So the first tip I'm going to go over is isolating one-on-ones. Now this is an idea that's been pretty known for a very long time, and you might have even heard about it. And it's just the concept that you're going to look for 2 individual duels rather than facing both players at the same time. So let me give you an example. Let's just say we've taken the B bomb site and we know both players are not here. They're for sure not catwalk, they're not B. Your teammates told you the bomb site was open. They're off anywhere else. You don't necessarily know where they're going to be coming from, and chances are they could go together. But chances also are that they will go together, but they won't group slowly enough. One will look to take too much space. Let's just say, one of those guys was like playing jungle area and one was playing ticket. This jungle area guy is going to make it to market so much sooner, and often this player is going to just start progressing through, and they don't really wait for their teammate to catch up. So if you're in this situation where you've planted and you pushed in toward market door, what you've now done is you've put yourself in a situation where you're not exposed to upper B, you're not exposed to catwalk, and you're only caring about market. Now, if you hear this player come in and you take this one-on-one, now you've put yourself in a situation where you're in a new separate one-on-one. So this is the whole concept, right? You're looking to create 2 separate one-on-ones instead of one-on-2 where both players are dueling you at the same time. It's fairly simple, but it does take a bit of experience and understanding of the game to really master it. And you'll see that a lot of the great clutchers that we have in this game, Rops, Nico, JKS, whoever it might be, they clutch very similarly in the idea that they look to isolate one-on-ones consistently. So my second tip is going to be taking the free bomb site. I'm going to give you guys a specific example because I've seen this exact example happen to me so many times in my life. Imagine your team was doing some sort of default and you ended up out mid and you had 2 teammates working towards the A bomb site. Maybe one was Palace, one was Ramp. And a lot of teams leave the bomb right here, so it's your job to pick it up and group with them. And while you're in the process of going to group, both of them die and they're like, yo, both are A, both are A. I've seen so many players in this situation look to try to go back towards A, or maybe throw a fake smoke on catwalk, or I've even seen players like throw cross map smokes like this to really try to like fool their opponents. But what's most important is that you always take the free bomb site. If you know that the bomb site is free, you shouldn't look to try to like weasel around the map and try to catch them in their rotation, because chances are they're not actually even rotating, right? If they saw your 2 teammates coming here, they're expecting you to be there as well, and at some point they'll start to get an itch and they'll be like, okay, he's not here, and now they're going to start looking at like mid, looking at their flank, and they're going to be curious as what exactly is going on. So when you take that free bomb plant, what you're allowing yourself is you're able to get the bomb down, and now you can reposition toward like market like I showed in the last tip, and you can actually look to isolate these one-on-ones. If you don't take the free bomb plant, typically you're not going to have enough time. So don't overthink it. So my next clutching tip is kind of based on a psychological idea, and that psychological idea is that silence triggers thoughts. Now, if you've ever heard this phrase before, basically what it means is that when you're sitting in a room silent, often you just start to think about all sorts of different things, right? And this causes a lot of players like anxiety, and they just they don't feel as confident, right? So this actually plays into Counter-Strike really easily because we're playing a game that is so intertwined with like a way of thinking and being confident and information and all these different things, right? So by being quiet around the map, you're creating this situation where your opponents start to wonder like, oh, could he be behind me? Could he be coming catwalk? Could he be walking, up con? Whatever the case might be, right? So I'm sure you've probably seen a ton of different players in situations before where they're in a 1-on-2. Let's paint the picture for you. The bomb was left top mid. One player died at A, one player died at B. Now this player is tasked with a 1 versus 2. They have 45 seconds on the clock, and they opt to walk Palace. In this situation, when you're walking Palace and you're not throwing anything, what's happening is your opponents are starting to think, where can he be? Underpass, top mid, walking up cat, is he going B, is he going A? And often the CTs won't play together. They won't just 2-man on a bomb site and one watches the other guy's back, this guy watches A. This isn't really that common, especially like in a plug environment. So by doing absolutely nothing and staying quiet and walking out Palace, you've created this scenario where you've given no information away, and your opponents really start to scratch their head. So when I make it to this bomb site here, if nobody's peeked me and I've made it all the way to this position and I plant the bomb now, okay, I'm in a situation where now, after planting the bomb, I can use my utility that I have left. Maybe I have a smoke, maybe I have a molly, and then I can look to reposition. But if you were to do it the opposite way, let's just say you get the bomb site and you get out to here and you want to plant, okay? As you're coming ramp, you're like, okay, it's looking clear. I need to plant the bomb. And let's just say you molly jungle and you smoke center site and you run over and you plant in your smoke. All of that noise you just made instantly triggered your opponents to know exactly what you're doing and where you're going. So just keep in mind that when you're clutching, the more silent you are and using your utility after you've planted the bomb is going to create a better post plant for you and lead you to a higher success rate in the clutch. So the next tip is called assessing the bait. Now, the concept here is just understanding when your opponents are actually baiting for someone on the flank. So let me give you an example. Let's just say you planted the bomb default and you're actually opting for this pillar right here. You want to play for market and you can peek cat and you can kind of swivel all these different positions and you can isolate one-on-ones really easily. How many times have you been in a clutch and your teammate was like, hey guys, I'm flanking up our B, can you like shoot, can you shoot, and like make noise? And you see people like jiggling out and they start doing like something like this, or you know, maybe they flash out the window or whatever, and they're just kind of like jumping around and making noise. When you see this type of thing happening in your games, you should understand that often they're not doing that because they're actually searching for you. They're doing that to kind of like delay time. Now, this delay could be just, you know, for their teammate to group with the market. This would actually be pretty smart because most players would expect, oh, there's definitely a flank, and there's not. But most of the time, it actually is because there's a flank and somebody wants to come from upper B. Specifically on Mirage, when you plant B, a lot of these rounds play out in such a way where, you know, maybe there was a guy playing under balcony A, so he has a quick rotate, you know, from spawn to upper B. And I say quick, it's not really that quick, but you get the idea, right? So there's so many opportunities for you to be flanked. Somebody could push out connector and they could go under past upper B, which is pretty quick. You get the idea. So whenever you see players doing this, you want to start to kind of like look to isolate different positions. If I saw this and I was in this position and that guy was just making a ton of noise, I'd probably move to this side of the pillar because I'm still not exposed to him in market. And now I can kind of take some timing peaks on, you know, upper B. I could take some timing peaks on catwalk, or I could even just look to face that guy market and like kill him so that I can kind of figure out where the next guy is coming from and use some jiggles to kind of figure it out. So the last tip is based around positioning and where you plant the bomb. So what's really important to understand is when you plant the bomb in a clutch, you can plant for certain positions. So if I plant right here, I'm planting for everything. And the reason we call this everything is because now I can see you from catwalk, connector, ramp. If I peek out palace, even if I was like spawn, I can technically like peek out, you know, on like a timing. This wouldn't be the greatest example, but I can typically see you here and even wall bang you through, right? As well as jungle. So planting in a position where you are exposing your enemy to so many different angles and they don't really know where you're at is going to really raise your opportunity to win the clutch. But this also works towards the B bomb site as well. And one of the positions you can actually plant for is for catwalk. Now, if you plant for catwalk, you can take a great position like this, and you have a great right eye peek that you can look for, you know, on timing when they tap the bomb. You could also get them off the bomb really easily by like just jiggling and getting them off. But more importantly, you can actually post plant in positions where you're faking the idea that you are playing catwalk and you're not actually. So I'll show you guys an example. So let me give you an example. Let's say I went to the B bomb site and I knew that the other player was playing A. If I opt to plant for catwalk and I plant right here, what's going to happen is this bomb is going to be exposed to catwalk, bench, and now I can go upper B. Now in this situation, they're pretty much always going to expect that you win catwalk or that you went bench, but in this situation I can actually see the bomb plant from upper B. So when this player tries to defuse and I peek out, I can see him clear as day, and he's looking towards cat and he doesn't expect me upper B. So when you plant the bomb, you want to make sure that you're planting it in a position that you can post plant from to make sure that you're optimizing the clutch for yourself. So guys, those are my 5 tips on how to help you improve your clutching Counter-Strike 2. I hope you enjoyed the video, and like always, if you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be trying to post Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every single week. So I hope you guys enjoy the content, and I appreciate the support. Peace out.